Go Derby. Get it, Derby. Go.
In the early hours of April 19, 2026, in the Cedar Grove neighborhood of Shreveport, Louisiana, a tragedy unfolded that would leave a community shattered and the nation stunned. What began as a domestic dispute escalated into one of the deadliest mass shootings in recent American history, an act of unimaginable horror where a father turned on his own children. 8 innocent lives were taken, 7 of them his own flesh and blood. 2 women fought for their survival in hospitals. And in the aftermath, questions about mental health, broken relationships, warning signs, and the depths of human despair would echo across the country. The story of Shamar Elkins is not one of sudden madness, but of a man who appeared, on the surface, to be a devoted father, posting proud moments with his children, taking them to church, sharing family joys, while privately battling demons that few fully understood until it was too late. This is the full, detailed account of what happened that morning. The lives lost, the survivors' pain, the family's warnings, and the community's cry for healing. Shamar Elkins, 31 years old, was no stranger to the pressures of family life. A veteran of the Louisiana Army National Guard, he had children with at least 2 women and was navigating the painful end of his marriage. His wife, Shaniqua Pugh, mother of 4 of his children, had reached a breaking point. Court proceedings for their separation were scheduled for April 20th, the very next day after the shootings. But that court date would never come. On the morning of April 19th, just after 5:55 a.m., the first desperate calls began flooding into emergency dispatches. What responders encountered was a scene of pure devastation spanning multiple locations in a tight-knit residential area. Primarily the 300 block of West 79th Street and a related site on Harrison Street. Officers arrived to find a nightmare. Children shot in their beds, in their homes, some as young as 3 years old. The victims were Jayla Elkins, 3, Shayla Elkins, 5, Kayla Pugh, 6, Layla Pugh, 7, Marcaden Pugh, 10, Sariah Snow, 11, Kadarian Snow, 6, and Braylon Snow, 5. 7 were Elkins' biological children. The 8th was a young relative caught in the horror. The 2 women shot were Shaniqua Pugh, Elkins' wife, who suffered multiple gunshot wounds including life-threatening injuries to her face and body, and Christina Snow, the mother of 3 of his children, who was also critically wounded. Miraculously, both women survived and were hospitalized. Others in the home showed incredible courage under fire. One woman, along with a 13-year-old and a small child, escaped through a window and made it to the backyard. Some climbed onto the roof in a desperate bid for safety. A 12-year-old girl and her mother jumped from the roof, sustaining injuries but surviving the immediate threat. One child was later found shot in the backyard. The scale of the violence, 10 people shot in total, left first responders visibly shaken. Police described the crime scenes as extensive and connected, involving at least 2 primary residences. This was no random attack. Investigators quickly determined it was domestic in nature, rooted in the turmoil of Elkins' failing relationships. According to family members, tensions had boiled over as Shaniqua made clear her desire for divorce and independence. Social media posts from days earlier captured her emotional shift. On April 10th, just 9 days before the tragedy, she had reshared a powerful message about choosing her peace, rejecting the role of wife and caretaker, and focusing on her own freedom. It was a public declaration that she was done. Elkins himself had been active online. Posts showed him spending time with his children, one-on-one dates, Easter celebrations. Yet there were glimpses of deeper frustration. In one reshared post, he openly wondered if he would choose a different woman to have the same kids with, answering affirmatively. These digital breadcrumbs painted a picture of a man struggling with the weight of multiple partnerships, fatherhood responsibilities, and personal dissatisfaction. His family had seen warning signs. On Easter Sunday, April 5, 2026, Elkins called his biological mother, Mahalia Elkins, and stepfather from a place of visible despair. With children playing in the background, he broke down in tears, expressing suicidal ideation and what he called dark thoughts. He spoke of his wife wanting a divorce and feeling overwhelmed. His stepfather encouraged him, saying he could beat it. Elkins replied chillingly, "Some people don't come back from their demons." He hung up after asking them to greet his children. Later that day, he posted a seemingly hopeful family photo from church, calling it a blessed day. It was a stark contrast that now haunts those who knew him. Elkins' upbringing added layers to his story. His biological mother has spoken publicly about having him as a teenager while battling addiction. He was largely raised by a close family friend who stepped in as a maternal figure. She reconnected with him more than a decade later. Though not deeply involved in his daily life recently, she and others noted his mental health struggles. He had reportedly attempted suicide earlier in the year as well. Despite these challenges, he maintained involvement in his children's lives, taking them to church, spoiling them, building bonds that relatives described as loving on the surface. Yet on that April morning, something inside him broke. Authorities believe Elkins carried out the shootings methodically across the connected scenes. Many of the children were shot while sleeping or in their beds. The brutality, headshots reported in some accounts, defies comprehension. After the attacks, Elkins fled the primary scene. He carjacked a vehicle nearby at the corner of West 79th and Linwood. Police pursued him into Bossier Parish. During the confrontation, officers discharged their firearms. Elkins was pronounced dead at 7:03 a.m. It remains under investigation whether his death resulted from police gunfire or a self-inflicted wound. Shreveport Police Chief Wayne Smith and spokesperson Christopher Bordelon addressed the media in the days following, describing the scene as unlike anything they had encountered. "This is an extensive scene unlike anything most of us have ever seen," Bordelon stated. Officials emphasized the domestic roots and the need for a thorough investigation involving multiple agencies, including Louisiana State Police. The community rallied with prayer vigils, statements from city leaders, and calls for mental health resources and an end to violence. Senator Sam Jenkins and local pastors spoke of long-term support needed for surviving family members, schools, and the neighborhood. One of the most heart-wrenching voices came from family members. A man identifying as the grandfather of some victims stood at the scene, expressing disbelief and urging grandparents everywhere to cherish time with their grandchildren. He prayed for his daughter's recovery. Relatives described the children as happy, full of life, energetic. Kids who love to play, dance, and spend time with their father. Videos circulated showing joyful moments, little ones dancing, laughing, calling out in excitement. These clips now serve as painful reminders of lives cut short. The names of the children deserve to be remembered not just as victims, but as bright souls with futures stolen. Jayla Elkins, 3, the youngest, a toddler full of potential. Shayla Elkins, 5, energetic and loving. Kayla Pugh, 6. Layla Pugh, 7. Markaden Pugh, 10, an older sibling figure. Sariah Snow, 11, the oldest among the victims. Kadarian Snow, 6. Braylon Snow, 5. Each one represented dreams, laughter, and innocence that should never have been extinguished by the person meant to protect them. Their classmates, teachers, and the broader Shreveport community mourned deeply. Schools offered counseling. Vigils filled with tears and prayers highlighted the collective grief. This case also sparked broader conversations. Elkins had prior legal issues, including a firearms conviction. Questions arose about how he obtained the weapon used, an assault-style pistol. A separate federal charge was filed against another individual for allegedly providing the firearm illegally. Mental health access, domestic violence prevention, responsible gun ownership, and the hidden struggles of fathers in blended families all entered the national dialogue. Survivors face unimaginable recovery. Shaniqua Pugh underwent multiple surgeries. Christina Snow endured severe injuries, including a gunshot to the face. The women who escaped by jumping from the roof dealt with physical trauma and the psychological horror of that morning. Fathers, aunts, uncles, and grandparents left behind must now raise awareness in the void. One relative captured the sentiment many felt: the pain of imagining how a parent could commit such an act against their own children. As investigators pieced together the timeline, 911 calls from people on the roof identifying Elkins, links between scenes, the carjacking, the pursuit, officials stressed there was no ongoing public threat. The focus shifted to healing. Community leaders called for removing politics from crime discussions and addressing root causes like untreated mental illness, relationship breakdowns, and cycles of violence. In the weeks since, funerals have been planned, scholarships discussed in the victims' names, and support funds established. The funeral for the children was set around early May at a local church, a gathering that would be both celebration of young lives and collective mourning. What drives a man to this point? Family members point to the combination of relationship collapse, jealousy over new developments, reports mentioned another baby possibly on the way, financial or emotional pressures, and untreated dark thoughts. Elkins' Easter call now reads as a final cry that went unheard or unheeded in its full gravity. His social media, alternating between family pride and subtle regrets, suggests internal conflict he could not resolve. This tragedy is a stark reminder that warning signs, suicidal statements, relationship dissolution, access to firearms amid crisis, must be taken seriously. Domestic disputes can escalate rapidly when multiple children and complex family dynamics are involved. Mental health resources, though improved in many places, still fall short for too many, especially men who may feel societal pressure to handle it alone. The people of Shreveport showed resilience. Pastors prayed for the victims, the perpetrator's soul, the families, and the city. Leaders like Mayor Tom Arsenault and others pledged resources. Schools and neighbors wrapped arms around the surviving siblings and cousins. Yet the pain lingers. How does a young officer who walked into that home hold their own children that night? How do grandparents celebrate future holidays knowing the empty seats? How do mothers recover not just physically but from the betrayal at the deepest level? As this story continues to unfold, with investigations into the firearm, full autopsies, and support for survivors, one truth remains undeniable. 8 children with their whole lives ahead were taken in a moment of incomprehensible rage and despair. Their smiles in old videos, their laughter captured on phones, their Easter church outfits. These images will forever contrast with the silence that followed. Shamar Elkins' actions have been condemned universally. No justification exists for taking innocent lives, especially those of your own children. This was not justice, revenge, or escape, it was devastation. The community, the state, and the nation grieve with the families. May this horror lead to meaningful changes, better crisis intervention, stronger domestic violence responses, expanded mental health support, and a cultural shift toward addressing pain before it turns deadly. To the survivors, your strength in escaping, in speaking, in continuing is a testament to the human spirit. To the families, your loss is felt nationwide. To the children gone too soon, you are remembered. Your names will not fade. Jayla, Shayla, Kayla, Layla, Markaden, Saraya, Kadarian, Braylon, rest in peace. Your light, though dimmed here, shines in the hearts demanding better for the next generation. This is the story of April 19, 2026. A day Shreveport will never forget. A day that forces us all to look closer at the homes around us, the struggles hidden behind smiles, and the urgent need to protect the most vulnerable. Let their memories drive action, compassion, and prevention. Because no child should ever have to fear the person they call father. No family should endure this level of loss. And no community should have to bury its babies because one man's demons won.